Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Pete Castellano,
Here?
Paul Hodson,
Yes.
Ray Ellis,
Yes.
Laura Framer.
Yes, and for the public's knowledge, Committeeman Will Pauls sold his house and is moving to another town. So effective immediately, he is no longer a member of Township Committee. And the process to replace him is underway right now, and hopefully in June, we'll have a conclusion to it. So he wants to say thank you for the opportunity to serve this great town. He still is serving and helping us on some things that he's closing out. One is the Nature Reserve tribute to the Carmen family and to the volunteers of the town. So we'll just say thank you to everybody and totally enjoyed his time here on Township Committee.
I visited today. They got the concrete down. It's looking good.
It's looking good.
Yeah. It's a nice pad they put in there.
And tentatively, the date for that, which we'll announce again, will be June 14th. Flag Day is what they're aiming for. So that should be a good day for everybody. Come on out. Everybody's welcome. All right. The first thing we're going to do tonight is something that is important to me. First, as I look at these incredible young people sitting in front of us, my daughter was in mock trial back in
It was in the 2000s.
No. 2000, it was 2004 and 5, actually 2004 and 5. And this program that you did and the process that you went through is amazing how you will take what you've learned doing this and use it later in life, which she does now. It's organizing, it's communicating, it's researching, and working together as a team. So what it builds for you is incredible, but what you did to represent Egg Harbor Township coming in first is fabulous, fabulous. And from what I have just heard, it's the second time in the history that Egg Harbor Township came in first.
Yeah.
So the goal always was beat mainland. And you know what? I'm gonna say, good job.
You beat Mainland?
They beat mainland. He helped on the side. They beat mainland. They beat mainland. So what we would like to do is give you all a proclamation. Mr. Castellano, if you don't mind reading it. Mr. Ellis and I are going to go and pass out certificates, and then Mr. Ellis will be putting some medals on a few people.
Bring them down.
Township of Egg Harbor Certificate of Recognition presented with pride to the Egg Harbor Township High School mock trial team. Whereas the Egg Harbor Township High School mock trial team has demonstrated exceptional dedication, discipline, and academic excellence in the study and practice of law. And whereas through countless hours of preparation, research, and teamwork, these students have developed critical thinking, public speaking, and analytical skills that exemplify the highest standards of educational achievement. And whereas the team has distinguished itself by competing with integrity, professionalism, and perseverance throughout the Atlantic County mock trial competition. And whereas their outstanding performance has culminated in winning the Atlantic County Mock Trial Championship, bringing pride and recognition to Egg Harbor Township High School and the broader community. And whereas the accomplishments of these students reflect the strong support of their coaches, advisors, school administrators, and families, whose guidance and encouragement have been instrumental in their success. And whereas the township wishes to acknowledge the dedication of Mr. Michael Martirone, social studies teacher, alumni Malini Galati, and attorneys Paige Jedlichka and Seth Levy, who coached the team to their championship. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Township Committee of the Township of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey commends the success of the team members listed below and offer their best wishes for continued success. Be it further proclaimed that we celebrate their commitment to excellence, their pursuit of knowledge, and their representation of their school and community with honor and distinction. Congratulations.
So can I ask Mr. Martirone, please come on up here? then I'd like for him to kind of explain to everybody what mock trial is and what you did and what position you played in the trial and stuff.
Sure. So I'm going to start with our captains. We have Senior Eva Nye. She's been on the team for 4 years. We have Carter Chu, our co-captain. He's been on the team for 3 years. Okay. We have Senior Paige Paquin, who's been on the team 3 years. Four. And she is the recipient of the Judge Carol Higbie's mock trial scholarship this year. So, we have Alina Hamid, who is our junior lawyer. I'm going by order of lawyers, but we have Anna Mitnick. She was our other state lawyer. And now I guess we'll go on to witnesses. And then we have Amanda Devine, one of our witnesses, right here. Amanda. Melina Patel, one of our other witnesses. And then we have our understudies, what we call our JV squad. We have Artan.
Maybe GV.
Okay. Brian Catelli. F. Moyes. We have Maya and we have Adeline, also our understudies. And then absent tonight, we have Gunjan Naik, who was our defendant. We have Cassidy Robbins and Emily Hager, who are both going to nationals. Now, let them explain what it is that they've done, but just by the numbers, I said this at the high school board of education meeting,
Didn't see the picture.
is that our team practices roughly 2 to 3 nights a week. That's on top of all their academics and other. What's your overall record in 4 years? Trials, wins, losses? Very impressive. Carter, do you know what yours is?
Oh, I've lost my.
Okay. It's an incredibly impressive group of young young men. So.
What was the case?
This year was based off a video game with friends, and one of them had school. Incident, and throughout the case, we basically had to that was the prosecution. That's what they had. Cases as well as civil cases, and over the past, learned a lot about public speaking and just how to present yourself, how to watch movies. Our team is big. I think that's one of the most important things about us. Sometimes like other teams. All right, Ty. Yeah, we spend a lot of time working on it, and I think that this year, especially, like I'm very proud of everyone, and hopefully.
It's our town.
That's it. It's here. Let's keep
That's
it
right.
here. Who is coming back next year? Oh, this is a good sign.
Yes.
This is a good sign.
I'd like a fund you could start, like I could donate money.
I
Save, save in
Yeah,
case I get in
right.
trouble, y'all and y'all represent me like I already have money on your long term, and y'all can represent me.
I'll let you know when we.
Who's looking?
How many people want to go to law school?
That is, you want to tell them a little bit about the club you're trying to start at the high school, the powerlifting club?
You could. So currently, I am trying to start Olympic weightlifting back up at EHT High School. It was a former club, however, it was solely linked to male football players. And as a woman who's interested in Olympic weightlifting, asked me if Olympic weightlifting was a club co-ed and open to all students at the high school. I received faculty advisor signatures. As well, I had a petition going around school of students who would possibly be interested and got over 300 signatures. As well, I filled out all necessary paperwork to complete this club. I recently spoke at the Board of Education meeting. I haven't, but hopefully I can have it for the next upcoming school year.
That was a
We've got a great talent, and Paige is in our MSA Academy. They just went to Stockton and he did what's that, a and you're gonna, so Paige is going to Drexel and you're majoring in. He was going to Rutgers and
Oh, I'm going to be in a business school.
and then Carter's going to majoring in electrical computing. But we've got a plethora of students that are engaged. I guess aviation, mechanical.
Science,
Neuroscience. Yes, we do.
That would be good for you.
It is remarkable to see just how just brilliant kids are much.
And it's true, the skills you learn through this, you will use your rest of your life.
Yes, so we had a couple of students who qualified for the Federal Judges Association's Excellent Citizen Award. But this, they had to participate in a mock trial or civics activity, and they had to score in a. So earning that time, and this is kind of for our newer students, but we have Maya Alasashina.
Mr. Hudson coming down?
Because I count the medals and there are enough to go around.
Our students are-
I went to the mainland and I can count.
Well, we went to EHT, we can multiply.
So, I was counting, I didn't know what it was.
So some of our students are with us. Moise is with us. Artan. And we have Melina. And some of our other students.
It's not cool.
Jason.
Yeah, go to Jason. I counted these about 10 times, it's in front of me, but there's some zoning in here. All right.
And the rest of our students are actually either traveling or they're
Oh, I didn't put one on this film. This is it, Mike?
This is
No,
it,
I
yes.
didn't get one.
Yes.
Up to all of you. Give your card to him and you can become a lawyer. He will need it in various topics.
So again, our agriculture mock-trial.
And we'll save this date for next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
John, get
I don't want
a trophy.
That's what you want. You want a ribbon. That's more eight students out there.
Good job, Paul. Congratulations. Great job.
Right, I will update the file.
Thank you, sir.
And it is also worth noting, hang on, Carter, totally slipped my mind. Carter and Paige, will be honored at the senior board thing. They participated in this. Interviewing you about free speech, they got an honorable mention and a $26 scholarship. So it's so yes. So thank you very much. Well done.
Anytime you want to come visit, we're here.
Thank you. Thanks.
Congratulations.
No. That was a rapper.
Oh, that was a rapper.
But I mean, I was counting, I said, they're not all getting bills.
I've asked for that as a coach for a couple of years. Too.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Good night, guys.
Okay. Well, that was an impressive group of students, I would say, wouldn't you? They were a great group. Okay. Moving on to ordinance for public hearing. Ordinance number 11, Mr. Friedman.
Mayor, ordinance 11 is an ordinance amending ordinance number 3 of 2026, fixing the salaries of certain officials and employees for the Township of Egg Harbor for the year 2026. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend ordinance 3 of 2026 by adding new positions and/or amending the salary ranges for certain non-contractual employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to discuss ordinance number 11? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 11?
Make a motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Ordinance number 12, Mr. Friedman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 12 is an ordinance appropriating $5 million and authorizing the issuance of $4,750,000 in bonds or notes to the township for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Township of Egg Harbor. The purpose of this ordinance is to enable the township to finance various capital improvements, equipment, and vehicle purchases through bonded debt while complying with the local bonding law. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to discuss ordinance number 12? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 12?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Ordinance number 13 for introduction, Mr. Friedman.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 13 is an ordinance authorizing the execution of an agreement for a tax abatement with All Zone Holdings LLC, the property located at 6418 Black Horse Pike, otherwise known as Block 1303, Lot 49, being Phase 1. The purpose of this ordinance is to authorize a tax abatement agreement for Phase 1 improvements consisting of 14,000 square foot office and warehouse building with related site improvements, and to establish payments in lieu of taxes pursuant to the 5-year exemption and abatement law. The public hearing on ordinance 13 will be held on June 17, 2026 at 5 p.m.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 13?
Make a motion.
Can I have a second?
Sure.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Budget, public hearing adoption. Resolution 208, authorizing the self-examination of the 2026 municipal budget. Can I have a motion to adopt resolution number 208 of 2026?
Make a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Resolution 209, authorizing the 2026 municipal budget to be read by title only. Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 209?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farmer.
Yes. The 2026 municipal budget, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the governing body on the budget? This would be the time to come on up. If we just have your name for the record?
Doris Stilley, Egg Harbor Township. Good evening, governing body, administration, and fellow residents. Tonight I am here not just as a taxpayer, but as a resident and a daughter who is deeply concerned about the direction of our municipal finances and the burden being placed on the people who live here. The 2026 municipal budget raises serious questions that deserve honest answers. I am told that nearly $8.75 million in surplus funds is being used to support this budget. Surplus money is supposed to be used to provide relief, stability, and protection for our taxpayers during difficult financial years. It exists because taxpayers have already paid into the system. Yet, despite using millions from surplus, residents are still being asked to accept another tax increase. So, the question every homeowner or renter should be asking is pretty simple. If $8.7 million in surplus was used, why are taxes still going up? This is not a political question. This is a math question. Families in this community are already struggling with rising utility bills, inflation, housing costs, insurance increases, and everyday expenses. Residents are tightening their own household budgets every single month. They expect their local government to do the same. Instead, what I am seeing is a budget that appears to rely heavily on spending down reserves while still demanding more from our taxpayers. That is not sustainable. Surplus should not become a substitute for long-term fiscal discipline. When government repeatedly dips into reserves while simultaneously increasing taxes, it sends a troubling message. Spending continues to grow, but accountability does not. Residents deserve transparency. People are not asking for miracles. They are asking for priorities. I am asking for responsible budgeting. I am asking for leadership that understands every tax increase affects real families, seniors on fixed incomes, working parents, and small business owners. A tax increase after using $8.75 million in surplus reflects deeper structural problems that cannot be ignored. If those problems are not addressed now, residents will likely face the same conversation again next year, only with less surplus available and even greater financial pressure. Government should operate with the same discipline expected of the people who fund it. The taxpayers of this community deserve better planning, better transparency, and better stewardship of their money. I urge this governing body to reconsider its spending priorities and commit to a long-term financial strategy that protects residents instead of continually asking them to pay more. I thank you for the consideration. Have a good evening.
Anybody else that would like to address the governing body? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 210 of 2026?
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call?
Castellano,
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farmer.
Yes. Now can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 210 of 2026?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Well, the second, when is the appropriate time? I have a few comments.
It's right now, actually. It's probably the best
Okay.
time.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all. I do have some comments. I have some concerns with this budget and with the process that got us here. And I'd like to see us put in place some changes and reforms as we move forward. I personally didn't have input into the formulation of the budget. We did have our 2 legally required hearings on the budget, but I think we can do better than just those two. Once introduced, I've repeatedly asked that we increase aid to our fire companies. I think it's very much needed. That was not done. I'd also like to speak about another concern, and that is, as we've heard, an over-reliance on surplus. The 2025 fiscal year, calendar year for municipalities, we ended with $19 million plus in surplus. That's on a $52.8 million budget. So that's 36%, greater than a third of the budget was left. At least it's my understanding that a good, healthy surplus to end with is in the range of 15 to 20%. So that's a concern. We then put 8.7 million forward for this budget. We took another 10 million and carried that into the 2027 budget. So for me, it's a concern. And I would have to ask, with that much surplus, had we had conversations and debates and discussions, perhaps we could have alleviated some or all of the need for a tax increase in this particular year with the hyperinflation that people are suffering from, whether it's groceries to gas. Now, having said that, I will vote yes for the budget. I made a commitment to come here to work with everyone, and I'm going to work with this committee. It's my responsibility to fund services for our residents, to pay our employees, and to do all the things that are contained in the budget and are necessary as a result of the budget. So I will vote yes. I'd just like to ask that moving forward, we consider some best practices for a town of our size. Let's have more than just the 2 legally required meetings. Let's have work sessions for the committee. Let's have listening sessions for the public. Let's do more and try to work harder on putting together a budget that reflects the views of the entire committee and of the public. But again, my vote will be yes for the reasons stated, and I thank you for the time.
It's a perfect time for it. And you will. Don't worry. You'll be involved. So, Resolution 210. We had a motion to adopt it with Mr. Hodson. Can we have a second, please? Mr. Ellis or Mr. Castellano? Second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Castellano?
Yes.
Hodson? Ellis? Furman?
Yes. Tom, we have an open space public hearing on here. Was that from last meeting?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, the purpose of that being on there was when
Last meeting.
last meeting was open, but this is no longer effective for this evening, or is
No, this is where Tom reports on
This is the,
what the open space is.
I know. This is for the open space tax that we have.
Okay.
The money goes into projects that we do for the rec department.
Yes.
From our capital, we don't use capital project money, we use open space money to fix the ball fields, soccer fields, stuff like that. So this is one that, anybody have any question on how we use the open space money?
What are we using it on?
Tony Canale
Primary
Park.
fields, Tony Canale Park is
We'd
huge.
use that. We use it on Vets Park, the football field there. We're going to be using it on the tennis courts. There's a bunch of them that need repair. I forget which one's first, Bargaintown, I believe.
Morgantown was first.
The fencing at the hockey courts. So I have a 6-year plan from Rick and the Rec Commission that we're kind of advancing. They have a priority, so we try to advance as much as we can with staying in the budget. And that number is 800 and, you have the number, Janice,
854,904.
for this?
What is it?
Under $53,900. It's contained in resolution 210.
210. Okay. Okay, very good. Is there anyone in the public that has any questions on the open space? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close that portion?
So, second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano,
Yes.
Hodson,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farmer.
Yes. We have resolutions 211 through and including 229, which a couple of these we discussed in work session. Does anybody have any questions on any of these? Or if not, can I have a motion to?
229 to the chief back there with the rescue squad. We need to put our equipment inside. And I agree with that. We're limited on space on Fire Road, but you need to get that stuff inside for the pole barn. Right? I mean, we're landlocked. We looked at it before. It's tough on space, but we gotta get that equipment in.
When do you expect it to go in? When do you expect it to go in? You're a busy squad. How many of your people are here tonight? I know behind you.
Want to take a moment to just recognize.
Why don't you come forward?
Let's just bring them forward.
Bring them up.
Bring them up.
Chief, I heard the airlift the other day at Summers Point. I'm assuming we were involved in that transport?
Yes, that was a little bit of a different situation.
Well, okay, I don't need the details.
Different
No.
situation being the hospital had to put her helipad down for a day, and if they needed to urgently.
So, all field?
Yes.
Okay.
We provide the transport for
Okay.
the hospital at that point, so the helicopter, so. Real quickly, a lot of people will say this unless you actually, well, I don't want to get us to your house, but these are the men and women of Egg Harbor Township that are working today. Much to recognize all throughout the year with this, it is nationally investment for the country and even our town of this town. As you can see, the men and women here are very different shapes and stuff. But again, the amount and effort, work that goes in out and every day out there by these guys. Because we have midnight and all throughout the day. These guys religiously get up. Thank you guys for coming, believing in me. Because these guys hired me to. Chaos. It can be a very good. long you're gonna get to see, and then we show up at your house. Stressful for you, but it's not necessarily stressful for us. Efforts of the town, especially in, budgets. I understand budgets, I had no budgets.
Do you get-
Years.
Either one of them.
No, but I get it. But everybody understands the house budget.
They do.
Down to your homes, you gotta, worry about your bills. Also, just as curious as it is, we have people that last week, a handful of one for stocking graduation. And and I wanted to recognize her tonight. People called me 2 years ago and said, "Do you guys?" So she came by. We put her in class and she started working. Well, she's university full, part-time with us, but working a lot. And she just graduated with a double major in biochem. Studying for her MCATs. Wow. And she, and we recently just hired Austin, which, you don't find out in the interview. She actually medical school. We have people that are looking to go to nursing school and big careers out of this. So,
Can you introduce everybody?
sure. So we have Chris Bush over here on the end, V. Castro Wood. Barkley, who comes from us. Tell me where you live again. By Steve Lee, who's one of the original OGs of EMS.
Are you the GOAT?
He's 30 plus years in the HT. Started in 91. Started in 91. So, Ashley, who's been with us for a couple years, she's finishing up her medic schooling now. She's going to be testing shortly. Great provider of the street. Danny or Danielle, who just graduated out of EMT school too, she comes from Vineland, and a lot of our references come from other departments and other classes because we are busy and we're going to get experience here. So Danny wanted to come environment. Ryan Grass, who is also a local resident here, that is part of volunteer fire. Our fire department, EMS, and he's been
The full service.
Brian Bachman, who is also going to Stockton, correct? Right. And that's great also. He comes from a family of public service too. His mother is a nurse, and he got interested in both. So he's actively got his EMT, and he is with us now. So, diverse group, family, husbands, wives, parents. Great.
I know this. I know how busy you all are, and so much so at our last meeting, you were too busy to come in because you had too many calls. So
We were trying to do this last meeting, and just as it goes, that meeting there was 8 calls in 45 minutes.
yeah,
The average 28 calls a day, but during the daytime.
Time the call stretches. The 28 probably turned into how many hours?
Well, average an hour, hour and a half, because by
Yeah.
the time you get a patient, you have to drive to the local hospital.
Hey, Mayor, I'm gonna hold the meeting up for another 5-10 minutes because the ones that I don't know from Wawa, I'm gonna personally shake your hand and give you my address. I'm in the age group now where I need you, so I wanna come say hi and I want you to
Get the address, don't go there.
I'm not as old as committing a Hudson, but I want to shake your hand. And I see you at Wawa. I see you at Wawa. Yeah. I see you. That's great. Oh, great job. I'm in there. It's not to serve you.
But I know that since this is a week to honor all of you, we just want to say thank you for everything you all do. I can't even begin to imagine what you go through during the course of a day. So I just personally want to thank you for absolutely everything you do. Because you guys are outstanding.
We have a spare AED for
Make sure the
Thanks,
battery's
Steve.
fresh.
If we show up, your pads on, right?
But then see, at least I know y'all are show. Great job.
He's on my street, go right by my house.
No, I'm not. I moved.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all. Be safe
Thank you.
tonight. Hope it's a quiet night. Okay. So, did we finish that? Bring that back? All right, we have the bill list. Okay, Resolution 230, authorizing the payment of all bills.
Didn't do the,
To the consent calendar, we didn't finish that up? Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt the consent calendar, Resolution 211 through and including Resolution 229?
Make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Milano?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. Now we're going to do the bill list, authorizing, Resolution 230, authorizing the payment of all bills. Can I have a motion so we can pay our bills?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Castellano?
Yes.
Hodson?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Farmer?
Yes. We have some approvals. We have a motion to approve the May 6, 2026 Township Committee Work Session Meeting Minutes. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the May 6, 2026 Township Committee Special Meeting Minutes?
So moved.
Have a second? Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to adopt the May 6, 2026 Township Committee Regular Meeting Minutes?
So moved. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the May 6, 2026 Township Committee Executive Closed Session Minutes pursuant to Resolution 206 of 2026?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the departmental reports for the month of April 2026?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we've done that. General public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the government? Mrs. Justice, come on down.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think it's still afternoon, not evening. Yeah, I got 15 minutes. I just drove here from Ohio. These meetings are really important to me. I may have missed my spot to talk about open space, but what I think that I'm going to propose isn't really an open space kind of thing. I know that there's a great need for open space here, put it that way. It's our entire landscape has changed. And in particular, as you all know, I have a concern on Ivans Avenue about building. I reached out to our administration late last week and got a response back about I had proposed, could we make these type of open space issue or open space opportunities or a natural heritage priority site opportunity or an Atlantic County open space opportunity. There's lots of opportunities for the particular tract of land that I have the most concern for. And I am begging. I am praying above all else that this thing it shows up dead on arrival. But I tell you, when I came here today, as I said, I came from Ohio. My aunt had a stroke on Thursday. And I had to leave not only for this meeting, I did have a wonderful graduation to attend just earlier today of an Egg Harbor Township resident, and who happens to be my son. And he was an EMT, but not with the township. But anyway, he's now a doctor, and that excites me. I'm just so happy for him. But All that to say, I went from my house, I drove by on West Jersey Avenue, the tract of land that's proposed for this development, and it's got little gas yellow flags on it, and it just makes me shake inside to see that stuff, to know that this is every day it's inching closer to a reality that this is going to happen. But I have done a lot of research. I'll tell you, it's not organized in this moment to show it to you, but our end of Ivans Avenue is a heritage site. It's a natural heritage site. And from my perspective, it needs to, as a township, be respected, because it was in the 1860s that I have found that documentation that calls out specifically a cedar swamp at the end of Ivans Avenue. And we all know every street south of Ivans Avenue has been vacated for some time, long time, rightly so. God put that in place to get water out there to Patcon Creek, and it just really ain't happening because of a lot of the development that's gone on over the last number of decades. And I have been here and mentioned that over those last number of decades. And I'm also developing that, and I'm going to send that up to the Pinelands Commission with the studies that I've done about our land and say, this is what you're doing to me personally, and this is what you're doing to many residents of Egg Harbor Township, because, as I've mentioned in planning board meetings, the development, for instance, that was just approved, I think it ends in 19, so it'd be PP 2025019. It is like an extension of Equestrian Estates. Equestrian Estates went in 20 years ago, some number of years ago. I've not done my research all the way, but it had to have been known at that time that that developer had his eye on this tract of land that surrounds Chelsea Avenue, that thanks be to God, it's not going to, Chelsea Avenue isn't going to be connected, but the people on Churchill are still going to have to deal with a connection to their west. And I presented, and this is the truth, this is what we're doing to our town. There are at least a half a dozen homes on Churchill that are sitting on top of the Little Meadow Run. Now, when I was in Ohio, my cousin is married to a man that is a developer, was in Ohio, and now he is in Tennessee. And when I told him this story, he said, you're the kind of people that we can't stand. And the reason he can't stand people like me is because I come to these meetings and I tell my government body that I really do appreciate. I want you people to know that. I appreciate that you're here. You're here to protect us. I believe that. I believe that's what you want to do. And I'll just wrap this by saying that's what happens in his experience, where they have to fork out millions of dollars to bring the infrastructure, to help the schools, to help the students, to help everybody be safe, to connect these wildlife areas so that the deer don't have to all die. I mean, there's a lot of things available to us in our township code that I think we're not taking advantage of. And I made that point when I went to a school board meeting. I'd seen every one of the mock trial people when I went to the school board meeting on a Monday. I think it was on a Monday. It might be a Tuesday. I don't even know. But anyway, they are rather upset because of the rifts that are happening. And there's rifts because we need more money. And the people at the bottom of the lineup we just got here, even though they're superstars, I mean, that place was packed. He was there. He saw it. It was packed. It went for 4 hours, I bet. So there's people that are passionate.
They are, and you're one of them.
Yes, I am.
You are one of them. And
Mark,
we'll keep your aunt in our prayers, and we're proud of your son.
Thank you.
And thank you you're always welcome here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do appreciate you guys.
Is there anyone else that would like to address Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, Township Committee, Solicitor, and Township Administrator. Basically, I just wanted to say a few remarks to show support for our dispatch center. As you know, and I've made these comments before, our dispatch center is the busiest center in the county, if not South Jersey. We take, and because we're shared services, we take on more calls than probably, and I know, than Atlantic City. With that being said, I've talked before about the understaffed, overworked, and dare I say it, underpaid. And one of the things I was thinking about before I made these remarks, Township's residents are used to the level of service that dispatch provides, police provide, our volunteer firefighters, our EMS partners. They're used to that level of service, which is probably much greater than many of our surrounding communities. And what they're used to becomes what they expect. So in order to provide the expectations, it's very important that we maintain our center the way it's intended to be maintained, to staff it properly, to create attainment value so people aren't shopping to other jurisdictions where they can earn more and work less. That's the dynamic with our dispatch center, is they are busy. And they do much more work when they could go to a neighboring agency, make more money, and do less work. I mean, so that's a challenge internally for us as supervisors and leaders. You know, one of the things and I'd like to think some of my supervisors and support staff in the back would agree, it's always been a goal of mine to make people feel valued, you know, and you can only do that so much when the financial component comes in. So we do our best to make people feel valued here, appreciated. So I just wanted to commend, you know, our dispatchers and what they do, and those that are still here putting in many more hours, because as you know, we did lose 3 full-timers recently, and they were very key full-timers. So we're the dispatch center is suffering a little bit, and so we're just hoping, and we know that you support them, and we're just want to make sure that continues, and we know it will continue. But they're pretty much my remarks, trying to be very careful here. So that being said, it's so important for retainment, for recruiting, to recruit valued and good people, quality people, to serve as our dispatchers. And also, obviously, long-term for morale, because, and you've all been in that center, morale is a very delicate thing, and things can impact that daily. And it's important that we keep that morale high, and there's things that hopefully will you can do to support that. So other than that, I wanted to recognize our dispatchers and the supervisors that are here. I know they're going to come up and talk further about some other issues, but I just wanted to stress that, again, this goes back to the community. I know there's a lot of talk. It's a very uncomfortable environment because you're talking about budgets, and I get all that stuff. But like I said, the town that most homegrown Egbert Township residents are used to, the level of service is what they're expecting. And for that to continue, things need to be considered. So, all right. Thank you.
I do know you support them. They do an outstanding job, so hello there.
Hello, good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor. I apologize for my tardiness, and I apologize for not wearing the proper clothing. I just got pulled out of another meeting.
You're representing her, so.
I apologize. So, my name is Abby Ortiz, president of Local Teamsters 331, as you well know. We are in negotiations with the township as well. Gentleman to my far right, Mr. Thomas Ditino, is actually the person who's across the table from me. The folks behind me are the folks who are the officers as well. And I'm here to speak on behalf of them and also all of Public Works, right? I know we're in negotiations and we're doing our best on our side, and so is the township. But I think there's some cries and some angst and some folks that really want to get out what they're going through, what they're feeling. And I think if we can just listen to what they have to say because of the negotiations and the ask of the township. And I believe the chief said it well, the standard is the standard. And we want to maintain that standard. And I think one of the ways of doing it is actually showing the folks that, hey, we appreciate the work that you're doing. And it's true, because I've seen it happen where I can just go across the street and I'm already jumping up a couple of thousands of dollars. And it's just a move across the street. We know that the communications officers are hemorrhaging because of the short staff and the overtime that's going on. We would like to see something done. And like I said, this is not the bad mouth. The negotiating team on either side, we're doing the
Abby,
best we
before you
can.
go any further, let me ask you this. Why don't you bring the dispatch, can all you guys, the dispatchers, why don't you come all stand behind them? I do have to say this during an active contract negotiation, so we can't discuss that.
I'm not going to negotiate, yeah.
But we want to see all of you where we can look at you face to face, because we all know how incredibly hard you work. And I think I'm sorry for interrupting, but I think it was more important you guys come on up here so we can see you all.
Thank you for that, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I guess each and every one of them would like to say something.
Go to the end so I can see.
So with that being
Here we
said,
go.
we're not here to negotiate. We're just here to have the council listen to our cry.
Yeah.
Okay? Thank you very much. And I'll leave it.
Right, so bear with me because I'm not good at public speaking at all, so I'm
So
a
far,
nervous
you're doing
wreck.
great.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and the members of the Township Committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Crystal Torres Colon. For anybody that doesn't know me, I've been a lifelong resident of Egg Harbor Township. I'm here on behalf of the dedicated 911 dispatchers within the Communications Department who proudly serve Egg Harbor Township, Pleasantville, Northfield, Linwood, Longport, as well as provide medical dispatch services for Summers Point. I come before you today to raise awareness of a serious and ongoing issue affecting our department, one that directly impacts not only our employees, but the safety and well-being of the residents that we serve. For the past half of a year, 911 dispatchers in Egg Harbor Township have been working without a contract. During this time, there have been no step increases, no wage adjustments. Despite this, our dispatchers continue to show up every day, remaining committed to performing their duties at the highest level, while also experiencing increasing burnout from the growing demands placed upon them. Before I go any further, I want to share a bit about my personal connection to this community. I began my journey in public safety at the ripe age of 16 when I joined the Farmington Volunteer Fire Company. From that moment on, I knew that this was my calling. I have now dedicated 20 years of service to Egg Harbor Township as a 911 dispatcher. I am a homegrown, loyal employee who has built my career here and taken great pride in serving this community, not only as a 911 dispatcher, but also a volunteer firefighter, like many of our dispatchers behind me also do. This township is not just where I work, it is where I have committed my life in service to others. I share this because the level of dedication you see in me is the same dedication you will find across our center. What is important to understand is that our role extends far beyond Egg Harbor Township alone. Every call for help, from a house fire to a child not breathing, to all other life-threatening emergencies, flows through every single one of them every day. These are the voices that guide residents through their worst moments, coordinate first responders, and ensure help arrives as quickly and efficiently as possible. Over time, the workload has grown significantly. Call volumes have increased, responsibilities have expanded, and the demands of the job continue to intensify. However, compensation has not kept pace with any of these changes. At this time, our wages are no longer competitive with surrounding municipalities, many of which handle fewer responsibilities and way lesser call volume than our center. As a result, we are facing critical challenges. We are struggling to retain experienced dispatchers as well as recruit new ones. This is not just a staffing issue. At this point, it's a public safety concern. When we lose trained dispatchers, we lose experience, efficiency, and the ability to maintain optimal staffing levels. When positions remain unfilled, the burden falls on those who remain, increasing stress, fatigue, and the risk of burnout. Our dispatchers are professionals who handle high-pressure, life or death situations every single day. They deserve to be compensated fairly for the critical work they perform and the level of responsibility that they carry. We are not here tonight out of convenience. In fact, I'm missing my child's band concert as we speak. We are here because this is literally our last resort for help. We are asking for your support. We are asking for recognition of the vital role that 911 dispatchers play in this community. And we are asking for the commitment to ensuring that our wages become competitive so we can retain the skilled professionals that we already have and attract the new ones that we desperately need right now. This committee was elected to represent and support the people of this township, and we have proudly supported you all in your mission. Today, we're asking for that same support in return. Investing in your dispatchers is investing in public safety. It is investing in faster response times, better coordination, and ultimately better outcomes for the residents you serve. We stand ready to continue doing our jobs with professionalism, dedication, and pride. We simply ask that our compensation reflects the importance and scope of the work that we do. Because when someone in our community dials 911, they don't hear a budget. They hear a voice that's expected to help them save a life. And I would really appreciate it if the committee could take that into consideration and, have the support for us that we so desperately deserve. I appreciate it and thank you for the time.
Can you introduce everybody? Because you all do an incredible job, and I think all of us have been over in there, and it's rough. It's rough and it's busy. So I think can we introduce everybody first?
We're not all here because we have some
that are working.
Juliet Lapari, Gabrielle Justiano, Nicole Grasti, Jim Lockerbie, and this is. Yeah, not everybody's here, but we try to show up the best.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the committee. My name is Larissa Sanders. Forgive me, I probably will repeat a lot of what she's saying, but we kind of just spoke from our hearts. I have proudly served as an emergency communications training officer for Egg Harbor Township for the past 10 years. We're about a half year into renegotiating our contracts. Tonight, I'm coming before you to make you aware of the status of our department, at which time I can only describe as a crisis situation. I'm urging you to seriously consider providing a significant salary increase for the men and women who serve as emergency communications officers in our township. Every day, we are the first voice people hear during some of the worst moments of their lives. We answer calls involving medical emergencies, fires, crime in progress, overdoses, domestic violence, motor vehicle accidents, just to name a few. We're expected to remain calm, professional, and accurate while handling life and death situations every single shift, also to include providing life-saving instructions over the phone until help arrives. Over the years, our responsibilities have continued to grow. Through shared services agreements and increasing call volumes, our workload has expanded significantly, and this is during the production of a new convention center and new housing developments in our town that will further increase our call volume in the near future. While the township is being compensated for these shared services, communications has not been compensated to reflect the expanded workload that the township has given us. We are handling more calls, supporting more agencies, and taking on more responsibility than ever before. Those increased demands alone should justify adjusting your salaries to a fair, competitive, and livable wage. As it stands under the current new dispatcher coming in right now, we'd be making a fraction above poverty level in the state of New Jersey. I believe we can and need to do better for the first responders and for the communities that they serve. Additionally, employee retention, burnout have become a major problem in our center. Excuse me. Dispatching is an incredibly demanding profession mentally, emotionally, and physically. And we currently are being overworked to cover the loss of several dispatchers who have left us to dispatch with other agencies or paying a more competitive wage and also doing a lot less than this agency demands of us.
When experienced dispatchers leave because they cannot afford to stay, the entire community loses valuable experience as well as institutional knowledge. Recruiting new employees is difficult. Retaining trained, experienced officers is even harder. Competitive wages are not just about rewarding current employees, they are about maintaining a stable, experienced emergency communications center that can continue serving this township effectively and safely. Despite these challenges, after 10 years of service, I can honestly say I still love my job. I take pride in serving this community and being there for the residents and first responders when they need help the most. I want to continue doing this job and continue serving Egg Harbor Township for years to come. But dedication and passion should not require financial sacrifice. The people who answer 911 calls and coordinate emergency response deserve compensation that reflects the importance of the work we do and allow us to earn a fair, competitive, and livable wage. I respectfully ask the committee to recognize the increasing demands placed upon emergency communications officers and take meaningful action to support the people who serve this community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
All right, bear with me, I'm short.
It's taller than me.
And I apologize if this seems choppy, but I am going to make an effort to not repeat the things that you've already heard.
Just read straight through. Read it straight through.
All right. The goals of today were to honestly describe the necessity of our job, the complexity of it, and what we're responsible for, and build awareness for a job that largely goes unnoticed. For those of you that are unfamiliar with me, my name is Caitlin Garthis, and I'm a full-time communications officer, more commonly known as a 911 dispatcher with the Egg Harbor Township Police Department. Having been born and raised in Egg Harbor Township, I have been a resident within our community for nearly 30 years now. I've had the privilege of receiving an education from our school system, participating as a child in our recreation programs and youth sports initiatives, and I am now participating as an employee here at the township in my professional endeavors. Growing up in Egg Harbor Township was like being a part of the biggest small town you've ever witnessed. Everyone knew everyone, and in large part, it's still the same thing that rings true. I can remember waking up every Sunday morning to my parents reading the newspaper, and it was filled with Egg Harbor Township stories. The high school sports teams are winning another state title or another conference championship. BHTYU football is finishing another season. Or maybe it's even a hometown hero coming home from another deployment, and so many more things. The sense of pride that we carried when we told someone that we were from Egg Harbor Township was incomparable. In the past, Egg Harbor Township Police Department used to receive hundreds of candidates every time they put out a hiring notice. And to become a full-time dispatcher, you nearly had to put in half a decade of proving yourself in order to get a spot when it opened up. Our previously volunteer ambulance squad and still volunteer fire departments were flooded with applicants. A dedication to service is what this town was built from. It's our calling. We were the leader in public service and a role model for other municipalities, both locally, regionally, and even statewide, paving the way and setting the example for everyone else to follow. Now you see nearly every public entity struggling in protective services to hire, train, and retain employees or members. What happened? A month ago, I stood in this room with great pride as I watched one of our own communications officers sworn in to become a full-time police officer within this department. Surrounded by friends and family, these new officers swore an oath of duty and responsibility to serve this department with honor. To signify to what extent that oath would be held, Chief Spano stood where I am now and said, "There's the door. It's not too late to back out. You still have time. If you're not willing to make a long-term commitment to serve and protect the citizens of Egg Harbor Township, this isn't the place for you. Try somewhere else." As a communications officer, I'm not a sworn member of this department, but the level of service that I'm expected to provide on a daily basis is still the same as those who are. We are responsible for many important jobs. However, the most important job we do every tour of duty is provide a lifeline for our police, fire, and emergency medical services personnel and effectively render assistance to the citizens of Egg Harbor Township. As Egg Harbor Township communications officers, we understand the important role we play as members of the emergency services team. As communications professionals, we are committed to providing the highest levels of service and dedication to all that call on us. To give you an idea of just how dated our mission statement is, because that's what I just read you, we now provide police, fire, and medical dispatching services for all of Pleasantville, Northfield, Glenwood, Longport, as well as medical services for Summers Point. We've even recently taken on call taking for the 177 without any knowledge to our own. The state just kind of dropped it on us. We serve nearly 38% of Atlantic County's residents, yet we are the third lowest paid in the county. We are averaging 11,000 incoming calls a month so far for 2026, with only 3 to 4 dispatchers currently on duty at a time. I don't even have one dispatcher per town. We're currently operating with 1 director, 2 supervisors, 13 full-time employees, 6 part-time, and 1's in training. We're the first responder. Our responsibility is to determine where help is needed, identify the type of situation, have the knowledge of what resources are needed, the awareness of where those resources are located, and the ability to get them where they need to be in a timely manner. We answer the call 24/7. Having only started my career with our department as a part-time communicator back in June of 2022 and then going full-time in September of 23, I am still one of the newer employees with the Communication Center. My badge number is 1006. Our last full-time employee was 1015. There's been 9 individuals that have come here since September of 2023 as full-time communications officers, 7 of which have left. Additionally to those 7 full-time employees that have left, we've also lost 4 part-time employees as well. I'm willing to admit that I'm not fluent in the idiosyncrasies of a municipal budget, and I understand the demand of your position goes far beyond just that of municipal salaries. But if you look over the course of history with the Agawam Township Communication Center, there are only 4 employees who truly made a career out of this position and retired with the agency. The majority of individuals we hire use dispatch as a stepping stone to better themselves professionally. A good portion of those individuals who have left dispatch have moved on to have successful careers in the Agawam Township Police Department as patrol officers. This job isn't just a paycheck that I take home at the end of the week. I can tell you if an officer, firefighter, or emergency medical technician needs assistance by the click of their mic, the tone of their voice, or the way in which they choose to arrange their phrase over the air. I've had officers involved in shootings, firefighters go down in house fires, the EMTs fighting with combative patients while transporting to the hospital when I didn't even have a GPS location. And it's my job to make sure that they get to go home at the end of the day. We know what our responders are expecting of us and what they're going to ask of us, and it's our job to be 10 steps ahead so that the pertinent information or additional resources that they need are readily available, and so that they can stay vigilant and focused on their task at hand. Like I said, it's our responsibility to make sure that everyone goes home at the end of the day to their family and their loved ones, and whether it's our fault or not, if that doesn't happen, it's still going to weigh on us. To speak to our dedication to service, nearly 100% of your communications officers also serve as volunteer firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, fire academy instructors, youth sports coaches, foster parents, former state troopers, now police officers, and county field comm volunteers. There really isn't a task that you could ask of some of these people that they haven't been willing to commit to. As communications officers, we are currently tied to a contract including the Clerks Recreation and Public Works departments. Communications officers, both at a state and federal level, have been reclassified from secretaries to protective services. And in order to become a communications officer, there are various levels of training and certifications required to perform our most basic of responsibilities. My job responsibilities have led me to handle various situations that I never thought I would have ever fathomed having to handle. If you had told me at some point that I would have had to teach 4 children under the age of 10 how to remove a noose from their father's neck and start performing CPR, I couldn't have imagined. Before even starting my career in dispatch, I was the wife on the other side of the radio that got to listen to my husband hang out of a 2nd-story window because he didn't have the appropriate bailout gear to save himself while he was waiting for water. I don't see how my job roles and responsibilities fit those of these other departments that we're tied to. We've been out of contract since January 1st of this year. Our starting salary at the beginning of this previous contract was in 2023, and it was $37,871. The starting salary increased to $38,251 in 2025. It's $380 increase. To date, our 2026 communications officers have received no cost of living increase or step increase for their years of service. but the population has continued to grow. The number of homes that we put in, the businesses, everything that's gone in all of these towns that we service, it's continued to rise. Our shared services contracts alone bring in close to $1.75 billion annually. And along with the money that we get from those contracts include service agreements and promises that we are expected to uphold and meet. The average person experiences approximately 7 traumatic events in their lifetime. For police officers, that number is approximately 500 to 600. A police officer, a firefighter, and an EMT can only physically be in one location and handle one emergency at a time. Yet a communications officer is basically remote. We're expected to juggle approximately 1 to 30 emergencies at all times. I can take a 911 call for one agency while I'm answering 15 different radio channels in front of me that I'm expected to monitor and not miss a single transmission. We're constantly moving from one traumatic event to another without a second to breathe. And some of those calls that I previously mentioned that I would have never fathomed that I had to handle, I didn't even get 5 seconds to walk away and collect myself. The phone was ringing and there was no one else there to answer it. And the next day, when it was my shift, I still had to come in. I'm not simply standing before you asking to make more money. I'm asking you to afford me the opportunity to help restore the communication center to the prestigious level that it once was. Provide us with the resources required to ensure that we could do our jobs effectively and efficiently. But most importantly, I'm asking you to not keep myself and my fellow coworkers in a position that's posing a threat to the safety of my fellow first responders and the general public. I'm asking you to make an equally dedicated commitment to supporting, funding, and recognizing your public safety personnel, as they have made to protect every single resident of this community and others, and especially everyone else that's passed through. This is the heart of Atlantic County. I think you should let it be strong and proud. Thank you.
Anyone else? I can say this, Chris. Come on up.
My intention was to come up after Chief Spano, and I'm glad I missed that opportunity to listen to these guys. And even she mentioned her communications officer number is 1006. Mine's 15-915. I started my career in Egg Harbor Township as a dispatcher, as a communications officer. That was 1989, 88, 89. This, like I said earlier, and I can't say enough, I battled with these guys a lot. They know this, but I do it. Yeah, I do. And I do it because
They're all nodding, Chris,
Yeah.
just for the record. Everyone's nodding.
and that's fine. I want them. I either want to be on the same ship with them, or we're all going to go down together.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand the troubles, the difficult portions of the job, and the rewarding sides of those jobs. The job as a communications officer in many, many towns is a stepping stone to move on. I worked with the likes of Chief Hughes. I worked with the likes of Sidney Terrell. I worked with the likes of Jeff Ang, which many people don't know him, but he died a while ago. Yep, you know. I worked with the likes of a lot of men and women that went on to be another significant step in public safety. But then there are people that make careers out of it. And we need to invest in that. And that is one of the links in the system. That is, in my opinion, it's the hardest job in this building. I get it. The police go out, they got to pull their gun once in a while, and that's not downplaying it. But we go out and we have to deal with a cardiac arrest. The fire department goes out and they might have to deal with a house fire, with other hazards that are life-threatening and everything like that. But the investment into the initial call has got to be made and has got to be maintained. And we all know that it's not necessarily a financial thing, but it needs to be more stable than it is. And it shouldn't be forgotten in that. So I challenge you guys as committee, I challenge our business administrator, our assistant business administrator, to really look into it this year and to come up with a solution to retain and keep people here. I was part of the committee. I wasn't necessarily part of the committee, but I was invited as the chief of the fire department of Ocean City in 2013 for Atlantic County's regional dispatch. I don't know how that failed other than politics. That was absolutely a disgrace, not on Egg Harbor Township Center or anything like that, that failed. You had 23 out of 24 communities agreeing to go to it, to build regional center. Egg Harbor Township, in the meantime, did the best thing possible is to start to build that center. And you could be the nucleus of that center, and you could be the driving force of that center in this county. And you know, and I know, and a lot of people, Chief Spano knows, that it comes down to politics and finance. And Atlantic County, and even Cape May County, and I grew up in Cape May County, we get behind, it seems like, in the rest of the state. You have communication centers in Gloucester and Camden and Burlington and Ocean that are regional centers and groups of people. They're staffing and they're starting at higher salaries, and they're attracting more people into those positions. And because of politics, because of the other small towns around here that don't want to give up a little bit of their stranglehold, we have a lot of people that could all come together and make one really, I'll say, a badass communication center if everybody just got on board with this, with the way it's going. And it was almost there in 2013, 2014. And that would be up and running today. And everybody in here would have the support that they need, whether you had police dispatchers, call takers, police dispatchers, fire dispatchers, EMS dispatchers, and even, other support staff to go into it. Whether it's located in Egg Harbor Township, whether that one was going to be located in Stockton, or the one that's going to be, or they're talking about one they just did a feasibility study you guys know about in here. And I was interviewed for the feasibility study, and I just said, until you get the most high-ranking person in the state of New Jersey and a bank account with $25 million or more to build this building, I said, why are we wasting our time? But it doesn't have to be that. You guys can be you guys are incredibly successful. Every one of you. Don't ever let anyone tell you you're not, okay? Because I don't do it anymore, but you guys are taking really difficult calls. Life hasn't gotten easier, we all know that. So, that being said, I support Chief Spano, I support our communications officers, I support our fire departments. I agree with you 100%. They need more funding too. It's volunteerism is the basis of this country. Go way back to the volunteer.
Basis of the town.
It's the town, but it's the country. It's the United States. People didn't come over here and just arbitrarily come out and say, I need to be paid to do it. They had to volunteer to work. And then next thing you know, we needed services. We needed the roads clean. We needed the fire department. We needed the police department. We needed law and order. We needed all that stuff. But at the end of the day, public safety is what everybody wants. And in psychology, you know it. What is the number one people want to feel? They want to feel safe. So I get it. They're complaining about their pile of shrub at the end of the driveways and all the other stuff like that. But again, I support these guys. I support you guys too. I support everything. But most importantly, they're the people I'm calling from here to get help. But if they're not sitting in the chair, then so.
Chief Dance, do you want to join in there? I figured. I saw you standing there, so.
Keeps coming up, so.
Said,
I knew about tonight. I had a conversation, a nice long conversation riding home from the airport a week ago. That dispatch, with the situation is going with dispatch. And I said, absolutely, I'll 100% back you on this. I drove 3 hours today to come home from work for two different reasons, and they actually linked together, courtesy of my dispatch center, courtesy of my EMS, and the police department. I needed those services today at home while I was at work. So without getting too involved in it, yes, there was a situation at my house. We needed an ambulance. I think Lockerbie took the call. I was talking to him. He's telling me, oh my God, I can't believe who it was. It brings everybody else up because they know who that person was. They know that family. Everybody was there. Everybody took care of it. Not getting into the budget side of it. I understand budgets to a certain extent. I'm just learning. This is my first year being in this position as deputy chief of the township. I've definitely had a rude awakening on how money works and the budgets as far as things go, and working with Tom, and he's been on the fire side. We've had a really good relationship. We really have.
But when it comes to these dispatchers, they're the first line of defense for all of us. Somebody's calling 911, it's most likely their worst day of their life. They're calling 911, whatever they need, whether it be EMS, fire, your house is on fire, they have somebody breaking into their house, or their loved one just dropped on the ground and they need EMS. These guys are the ones who take the call first. These guys are the ones who are taking the calls, just like Kate said about when she got pretty graphic about the one situation. We've had some pretty bad calls recently in this township. One of which was a call 3 weeks ago, that was a suicide, and it involved a fire, and it actually involved a family member of one of my captains. So we're all wrapped around this. We're all wrapped around this in community. We live together. We live in this township together. We know each other personally. We've golfed together. We know each other personally, inside and outside. And when I get on the radio and I'm calling, and they know my voice, they know I'm very low key when I get on the radio. I actually probably sound like I'm being bothered when I come on the radio, when I come on as responding. I do, right? I sound pretty much fun. I sound like they're bothering me. But I try to keep it low key. I want to keep it like that. If I start to elevate, I know they know something's wrong. And like Kate said, she understands that. She talks to us almost every single day. Maybe not me every single day, but she talks to me a lot. She talks to all these officers every single day. All of them do. They know the difference of the tone. They're the ones who are going to get us our help. And listening to where their salaries are, and listening to and knowing how the world is going with the bills and everything else. And, we've had this conversation on the fire side. And Pete, I want to thank you, and from the bottom of my heart, for what you've said. You are standing up for us. We've had long conversations. We've all had long conversations. And I appreciate you backing us the way you are. I will say that in Tom's defense, we've had very good dealings this year. Better than what I've seen in a very long time. And I've been a firefighter here for 34 years. I've been in this position for 1 year, but I've been a chief for 4, and I've been an assistant chief since 2017. The financial support wasn't always there. It was only up until really actually this budget, 2026 budget, that this governing body, administration, actually capped out the state number for the fire department. It wasn't until this year. So I want to thank Tom for that, for working with us. Obviously, we still have more work to do. He knows where we're at on this. I just actually sent him an email yesterday for a grant.
Yes.
But I digress on that situation. But these guys right here, you have to do what you need to do to retain them. We can't have 3 dispatchers run a dispatch with all these towns that we're handling. When they're 4 calls deep on mutual aid, the cops are running like crazy, and I get a house fire in the middle of it. 3 dispatchers can't. It's virtually impossible for 3 dispatchers. That doesn't include anything going on in your other towns that are paying you for their services. Just remember that. We got 3 dispatchers handling everything that we got going on in Egg Harbor Township, and we have other towns paying us for that service that we may not be providing the level of service that we should be, because we don't have enough bodies inside that dark dungeon of a room that they have to work in for 12 hours.
Which you said.
So, with that being said,
we like it dark.
You like it dark.
Daylight and dark. I went up there, I was like, I need out of here. I need daylight. I need a window. But with that being said, please just listen to what they're saying, work with them, and give them the support that they deserve.
I'm going to keep them here for a second with me.
Sure.
Sorry. It's not a paid fire department. I'm sorry. I don't have them much pull yet.
That's a whole other
I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. In a spirit of recognizing public safety personnel, Mayor Frommer, you and I had a conversation a little over a year ago in reference to an event that just occurred involving your fire department. And I'd like to present a suggestion to the committee and the administration in reference to it. You said you named things after the volunteers. You named things after the volunteers. Yeah. Not the people that get paid to do the job. That's why they're getting paid. And I think a really good show of faith to our fire department would be possibly renaming the park in Delilah Oaks after late Chief Gilzong as the Gilzong Memorial Park, as a show of good faith to his family and his lifelong commitment to this community. His wife and 3 youngest adopted children that he opened his heart and his home to live right in the immediate vicinity of that park. And I think that it's something that we could accomplish hopefully in the near future for them. It's not money in anyone's pocket. It's not something tangible that we get to take home with us, but it's hope and something that we can hold on to that shows that this township is looking out for us in some type of way.
I can get behind that one. I can definitely get behind that one.
I think we all can.
That's a beautiful idea. I think that's something that, yeah, we definitely should run with. I mean, I know Cardiff, we instituted the Chief Song Award in our fire department that we give out to an exemplary member who goes above and beyond for that 1 year. And every year we try to find, a different member. But, we started that award right after Chief died, after he passed away. And I ended up inheriting something that I didn't really want to inherit. But the park in Delilah Oaks, I mean, that's directly across the street from his house where his wife and his children still live. And, his oldest son is one of these guys, and he's one of mine. So that is something to consider. Thank you, Kate.
You got it.
All right, I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tom, we can talk about that tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Good evening, Mayor, Township Committee. First of all, I don't envy your position at budget time. Pete, I do want to echo what my chief said. I want to thank you for your public support here at these last couple of meetings and the comments that you made in support of us. But I really wanted to come up and thank the dispatchers. I know most of them by name and by face, and a lot of times you can hear their voice. And I think Chief Spano brilliantly touched on the importance of retention. And you may not think that retention transcends all of public safety, but I know that the EMS chief will probably agree with me. When our chief signs on the air and he's dispatched somewhere, he shows up somewhere, you might have a dispatcher who knows locations of certain things like fire hydrants or a landing zone for a helicopter. And I've heard Mr. Lockerbie do it before in the past, before the first engine even signs on the air. So that retention is important not only for the police department, but it's important across the board. I'm sure the EMS chief, Mr. Bruning, would agree also that retention is very important. And I can't thank these guys enough for the job they do. I'm speaking on behalf of Cardiff. I want to speak on behalf of the whole township, but I'm sure they feel the same way. But I think Chief Spano and his comments really nailed it, that retention is a huge piece of public safety. I do want to apologize if my chief ever seems grumpy. Sometimes I take the hits for him. But I do want to thank you guys for everything you do. It's part of the personality. But I can't say it enough. I appreciate you guys. I know my fire company appreciates you guys. And I hope we're all on the same page here. And again, I want to thank you guys for everything you do too, Township Committee. Tom, I want to thank you for this year. And again, Pete, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, man.
Pleasure. Well, I know that before you all go away, I think probably every one of us wants to say something. But where's Abby? Abby, come on down. Come on down. I'm going to add, yes, it is, because since this is a contract negotiations, it has nothing to do with the quality. I did not fall. How's that for timing? It's like I did not. Oh my golly! Hold on a minute. Yeah, really. Oh my God. Oh my. Well, that's good for timing, is it? My goodness, I'm taking it off and putting it in the drawer. It said I fell. Apple Watch. Putting it in the drawer. No, but I'm just going to say that contracts. My suggestion to you and to administration is sit down and get this done. Sit down.
That's our goal.
That is our goal, and I think it's our goal, and I know it's their goal. I know I've been in that center. We all have been up in there, and it is really dark in there. I will say that. But you're in the middle of a sentence with somebody talking just about their weekend, and immediately you turn around and put on that voice, and you help somebody. And every single day, Chief Spano has said this for years, Chief Bruning has said this for years, and I know our fire companies have said this forever, is you are the first line of defense to anyone that calls in on probably the worst day of their life. A mother's lost her child, or there's a fire, or somebody had a heart attack. And the case of the children in the news is breaks your heart. So you are an incredibly valuable asset to this town, and we need to look at this and make sure you're taken care of correctly. So, anybody else here? And if you get a call to come here, it's still going off.
That was raise alarm.
Hey, real quick, like I said about the EMTs, I praise the job that they do. But communication, I tell you, being a former police officer, I would always go and take them lunch because I felt so sorry for them because they couldn't do anything. They couldn't get a break, and they were like just working like crazy. So that's why I don't want to say I do this and I do that. That's why I try to call you on every holiday. I call every holiday to acknowledge you and acknowledge the work that you do. It don't go unnoticed. And you know, a lot of people talk about, let's put this in the budget. A lot of people talk. I'm a doer. I will fight for you because I believe in you. I believe in this town. And I don't like to talk. I like to do.
But thank you all. How many are still working right now? 4 of you. And the rest of you are missing games. You're missing a band concert, you said? But thank you for coming in. And sometimes you need to come in like this and tell us things that we need to hear.
And man,
I appreciate it.
I didn't know you sharp. I always just mess with you. Hey, have fun. You said it all. You said it all. Great job. Great job.
I know what you do. I hear you all the time. This thing goes off. It's on 24 hours a day. It's the product of growing this community, your public safety. And we know it, and we'll do the best to do what we have to do. Our fire department is second to none. I listen to a paid department, and where's the chiefs? They're back there. I hear the tone go out. I hear you speak, give it out. And then I wait and watch the phone or my watch to see how long it takes for someone to come on the air. That's the key. They come on the air on one of our pickup trucks or whatever the chief's vehicle. We are the best out there. I hear Hamilton Township ask for us for help. Where's Cardiff? They go there all the time. I hear other communities ask for help because they're not meeting the call. So from my standpoint, I support public safety at all lines. And I know the dispatch, I heard the rescue squad chief dispatch is a real problem, just like fire is, just like ambulance services, just like police is. We never had calls like this. I started in 73 when Ellis was 5 years old. Okay, we never had calls like this, but we had serious calls, and we had primitive equipment, very primitive equipment. And when the chief mentioned Jeff Dang, I worked with Dang, and his brother David. They were all dispatchers. Okay, so we've progressed because of the world the way it is today. We got to meet the challenge of taking care of it. Okay, and do what we want. And I don't recognize any of these voices, but I've been in your dispatch center. I think it's right to have it dark in there so you can see the screens. But we know what you're doing and we understand it. I certainly do. I listened to this pager and my poor wife, she used to really give me hell. Now she doesn't realize I have it on, but I don't miss a township call, a Summers Point call, or a Ventnor call. And Ventnor's for a personal reason. So I hear the calls, like the other day with the landing zone in Summers Point. Kind of odd for Summers Point. We never landed all the time out there, but he said it was to help the hospital. They have a landing port at Shore Memorial. So we get it. We get it. To the fire, we got it. And the fire, I mean, Sonny used to condemn me for going to the fire scenes. I'd be a volunteer today if I wasn't too damn old and could make a fire station. They're all too far from me. But the thing is, my days in Summers Point was the best of my life. With all my dad's buddies from World War II, it was the greatest time. And the other day at Skullville, I was at Thompson's Boat Works. I missed the college course. I was 18 years old. I rode on the back of a 53 purse all the way out to Thompson Boat Works with another fireman and a couple of guys in the front. So That was, Ray was 5 years old. But, I appreciate you coming here. I respect it. I respect the chief's briefing all the time, because I know what police work is today. Nobody can keep cops. There's no list for cops. Okay, then they use it as a stepping stone to go somewhere else if they're not making the money or something else. Some agencies want to suck them in for more money and so forth. And to you with the dispatchers, it's the same thing. Some dispatch centers aren't busy at all. Some are very busy. And it's the multiple municipalities. You guys have multiple dispatching. Ventnor does one thing, maybe talks to the water department, fire department, and police, and helps Atlantic City. I hear him. So thanks for coming in, and we got it. We got it.
Thank you.
Just want to
And
thank
Amanda
you
graduated
guys.
my daughter, so it's.
Thank you guys very much, and I support you.
And I know this, you can tell by the amount of professionals that are in the room, police, fire, and EMS, that they are behind you 100%. And I know that they tell us all the time, but I hope you do know that everyone in this room is behind you. And I know for a fact, all of our first responders put you guys first, because they say you're the first one that gets us. So please know that. Please know that. So back to the table.
Yes, we were scheduled to take 2 days of that.
I'm glad to hear that. That's good. That's good. Thank you all, and thank you all, each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Can I have a motion to close the public portion? Oh, Ed, come on up, Ed.
Good evening, Mayor, governing body, administration. Ed McGlinchey, 7 Sunset Boulevard. If you recall, I think it was the first meeting of March, I had asked Mr. Watkins as an update on the CRS.
Do you have an update for that for him?
And he
Mr. Watkins, and I saw him.
had indicated that it was sent over to Pat Nachione
It was,
for his
yeah.
review. And I didn't know whether or not Pat had a chance to review it in the last 3 months.
Pat's gotten everything back to the engineer. The engineer stated they're going to be ready to submit to the state by the end of June.
Thank you very much.
I saw you, and I texted him to make sure I had an answer for
I'm
you.
just hoping that it'll be in time for.
Ed, Tom, can we give Pat Ed's number or Bob? So
I
he
got
has an
Bob's
idea.
number. If it's okay, I can call him direct rather than bothering you guys.
We love seeing you, but I have no problem if you want to.
Come in to call us.
But I think you should call him direct.
Yeah.
Periodically, just for an update.
It's just so much easier just to deal with Bob. It's not a real big issue compared to what you've been dealing with. So.
But no, it's an
You
issue.
can call my office then too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
So we
I wish
said the
everybody a
end of
happy Memorial Day, and I hope you get your parade. I hope the weather.
Oh, I hope the weather holds up. I hope it holds out. So, is the neighborhood filling up? Yeah, that's what I figured. All righty. Township committee reports. Mr. Castellano. Can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Now, Pete,
Thank you, Mayor.
how you gonna follow that, Pete?
Yeah, well, can't follow that. But I just can report on a couple things very briefly. On May the 7th, you and I met with Senator Palestina and Assemblyman Don Guardian again to talk about Pinelands reform. That was another positive meeting. We've also reached out to the governor's staff, and we will have a telecon with them coming up this week to begin that dialogue. It's going to be a long process, no different than when we worked on the school aid situation. It took a while, and we got a lot of no's before we got a yes, but you just have to keep trying with it. Tomorrow, the Economic Development Commission will meet. We will be on location at the Aviation Research Park. And that's it for my report.
Thank you. Mr. Watson.
Well, Memorial Day is Monday. I hope we have good weather. I've been watching the weather. That's a job I should have because they're never right, and they are changing it every day. There's now saying 30% chance of rain. The key is with the parade, we don't have much options to go in if we can't, but we have a lot of people that want to go to the parade. A lot of people are interested in the parade. For some reason, our parade is getting bigger every year. We're going to start at 9 o'clock. Certainly, if there's lightning in the area, we're not trying. But if we can get through the raindrops and do it, we're going to. I said before, the F-16s are going to fly over. We're not sure when they're going to do it. They're going to hit, I'm told they're going to hit every municipality this year. They're going to start every parade they can do. There's 2 fighter jets that are going to do the pass. Just hope for good weather. And, you know, we all have to honor those on Memorial Day who served this country and do it in the professional patriotism way that we should. So pray for good weather. And not 95 degrees, maybe 67, 70. That's all I got.
Mr. Ellis.
Don't have much to say today. Like I said, I just like to do and not talk. That's it.
Just a couple things. Mr. Ellis and I this morning I'm saying too, had the privilege of going over to our senior center. And in coordination with the Wings program from the high school, they held a prom over there. So it was lovely. They had a DJ. Not everybody was dressed up, but a lot of people were dressed up. There was a whole group of kids from the high school and some teachers, and they were all dressed up, dancing with everybody. They had a king and queen dressed. They had trophies. And I have to thank Chick-fil-A near Lowe's for providing food for everybody there today. Wasn't it wonderful? It really was. And so to the high school kids that were there and to the staff that went and to Chick-fil-A and the staff at Jewish Family Services and our recreation department were outstanding. And it was just lovely to see. It truly was. And I just want to wish everybody a very safe and happy Memorial Day. I don't know if it's still on, but on Friday, if it's not raining, the county is doing their Memorial Day service out of Stell Manor Park. It's probably rain dependent, so you need to check the weather on that. But that is also a good solemn event just to start the weekend for what it really is. And then on the 14th of June, because we'll have a meeting after that, the volunteer and the tribute to the Carmen family out at the Nature Reserve will be done. 100% by volunteers. At the next meeting, we'll list everyone that gave their time and services, which was amazing. Will Pauls led that out. I just want to thank him for that and also for everything he did for us. So that is all I have. Mr. Friedman, anything from you?
14th of June happens to be Flag Day as well.
Yes, it does. It is Flag Day. And maybe if we're really nice, we can call one of the fire companies for the big flag. Yeah. John used to like that. Mr. D'Antino.
I have a few things, Madam Mayor, if you will entertain me, or I'll entertain you. Regarding the dispatchers, we have and continue to be in negotiations, good faith negotiations. Like Abby said, we have a meeting hopefully for next week. I have 3 dates possible, so we will get this done. We all know how important they are, as well as all our public safety. I think I'm well aware of that. 2, just a reminder, budget with the surplus, $1.8 million of that is funded for a big capital project we have going on over at the community center. And then moving on from that is reminding everybody that our auditor was in town a few meetings ago, another audit of no findings. I believe this is 3 years in a row that I've been here. And that he also said that due to the township's planning and fiscal management, that it keeps our local government is a stable financial planning, a stable financial position. So just a reminder of that, in case you guys forgot.
Takes a lot of work with a lot of people.
Our bond rating is AA negative, I think.
Yeah,
AA minus.
Yep, it's AA minus, which has gone up, yes.
Which is due to proper fiscal planning. One more report I just want to make sure everyone's aware of, because we had a meeting about it, you, myself, Mr. Castellano. The Eagle Academy property, just so we're aware, that property's been back and forth between the township and the school board forever. It last came to the township in '99. About 2000, 2001, we built the infrastructure on the back parking lot, the geothermal system underneath of it. Sometime early 2010-ish, the school started using the building again. We leased it out to them. And in 2015, Peter and the committee at the time decided to convey it back to the school board as they were using it. But when it was conveyed back, the back portion was never separated and placed under the township with our infrastructure on it. Last summer, the township engineer put in for a grant application, stormwater grant to fix the parking lot, repave it, fix the issues.
Gotta repair the leak.
Yeah, all that. And then he did so under the assumption, which I thought as well, that we owned the property. Once we looked further into it, realized it was still under the school board. I started communicating with the school in August of last year to try to get something figured out back on the township coffers so we can finish the project. The project is under the township. There's a $250,000 grant for about a $300,000 project that we need to do there. I had been back and forth with the administrator, Dan Smith. He approached it to the school board, and right now, basically, it's a setting up a meeting with them to discuss it further. It's time sensitive and needs to get done. The actual project is out to bid. Bids are due June 4th, and we have to award within 20 days of June 4th. Or we're going to lose the grant. So I'm letting you know I'm working with the school board, school administrator to meet with the school board so we can try to figure this out.
So it's a $300,000 repair.
Yeah.
You got $250 from a grant.
Yes, sir.
And we're on the hook for the $50,000 to complete
That's
the repairs from the leak of the geothermal.
Well, we did the lead.
No, the repairs are fixed.
Yeah. To fix everything else, correct, yes.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Good.
All right.
Let's get that done.
And we have the $50,000 budgeted in the capital fund.
Okay.
That's all I have, Mayor.
John? Yes. Sure.
Everybody else spoke tonight.
Everybody else got a chance to speak this evening, Mayor.
Janice?
I would like to say into the microphone that
Let's turn the clock on. You just
I appreciate that. I would like to say into the microphone that we have the lowest tax rate of any full-service municipality in the county. So that is something that I think is not reiterated enough. And I would also like to reinforce the idea that the individuals who are standing up here this evening are people who have stuck with the township through turbulent times. And the finances of it I can't discuss because we're in negotiations. But I would like to say thank you to them for manning the ship through the turbulent times. And I look forward to reaching the other side of negotiations. And hopefully everybody can.
They're outstanding people. Yeah.
Thank you to them.
Thank you. Tom, do we have a need for a closed session?
Yes, ma'am.
Will we be taking action when we
No
come
action
out?
afterwards.
Okay.
Resolution 231, authorizing the Township Committee to convene into closed executive session to discuss matters which may involve personnel and/or legal matters. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the Township Committee may need to enter into closed executive session at one or more times during this meeting to discuss matters permitted under law, including but not limited to the following. Two personnel matters. One is the anticipated retirement / transition plan of a senior member of the township, anticipated disclosure 1 year. The other is a conduct complaint concerning a volunteer appointed official, anticipated disclosure 1 year. And then a legal update, contract negotiations, anticipated disclosure 1 year. Whereas minutes of said closed executive sessions will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes shall be made available to the public in accordance to law. Now therefore be it resolved by Township Committee, the Township of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, and the State of New Jersey that the public be excluded from this meeting during such portions of the meeting as the governing body may deem necessary to discuss matters set forth above. Period.
Very good.
That last sentence gets
So-
me every time.
It's a long one. So, TV, you could probably start to rewind because we're not going to be taking any action at the end.
Correct.
So, currently, I'd like to ask, can I have a motion to go into closed session? Let's start with that.
Second.
All in favor? Would you have a roll call on that one? Okay.